It is an unsolved murder with many witnesses but few leads, and it still troubles the Tampa Police detective working this case.
Jynasis Ellis was a beautiful young woman with a very bright future, but she was caught in the crossfire and killed in a drive-thru. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson reports 6 years later, her family's still not over the loss.
26-year-old Jynasis Ellis dreamed of being a model.
She was beautiful. She was beyond pretty. She was just gorgeous.
She also had a good career as a pharmacy technician.
She wanted to be everything.
Jynasis also had the love and admiration of her brother.
She was my best friend, not just my sister.
Reggie Ellis is a semi-pro football player who's been in the Arena League. In March of 2012, he boarded a plane for an away game.
When my sister needed me, I was playing football. And I think about that all the time.
March 25th, 2012, Jynasis went out to a nightclub with friends, and as the evening came to an end, she got into a car with her friend, Malik Majeid, and headed to a drive-thru for food. There is grainy security camera video of that night as a dark pickup truck circles the parking lot. Then a lone gunman gets out and goes up to Majeid's car and fires point blank.
There were several cars in the drive-thru in front of and behind the victims. So somebody had to have seen.
Bullets struck Majeid. He recovered. Jynasis was killed. At the time of the shooting, the gunman covered his face.
Based on what I see on the video, I think that people in the drive-thru would have seen them cover their face or seen them exit the vehicle.
Detective Rachel Cholnick believes people would have still known who that shooter is.
This is a neighborhood restaurant. You will recognize somebody if you know them, even if they're covered up.
But even though many saw it, none came forward to help.
Unfortunately, that's the way that some people live. They don't get involved. They think it's not their business, and they won't participate in police investigations. They won't help us try and help the victims in these cases.
The witnesses may have been afraid because of who is involved. Tampa Police believe Majeid had been involved in a beach altercation just days before the murder. A parking lot brawl at Ben T. Davis Beach that led to a shooting. Following that, there were a number of retaliations.
There were actually several other shootings the same night that this occurred that I believe is targeted, that it was a targeted attack from one neighborhood on the other.
But so far, the killer of Jynasis Ellis has not been found. Detective Cholnick believes she was not involved in the beach dispute, not involved in any of those arguments, but at this restaurant, she was simply caught in the crossfire.
That was meant for him. That wasn't meant for her.
Reggie Ellis thinks of his sister every day.
A lot of me died when my sister died, and I have to live with that.
Tampa Police haven't forgotten either. They know someone out there knows who the killer is.
Some are scared, some just don't want to be involved. But ultimately, this girl lost her life, and no one's willing to help us.
But all it would take would be just one phone call. One person who wants to do the right thing, or one person who wants to collect the reward money and help solve this case.
Detective Cholnick believes there may be a number of people who know who this killer is. After the fight on Ben T. Davis Beach, there were several retaliation shootings that followed. In each of those cases, the shooter has been arrested. Some are serving time in prison. Jynasis is the only person who died as a result of this, and her killer has obviously not been caught.
Is there a chance that anybody in jail could have been the shooter in this?
No, I don't believe that's the case. I believe that they have ruled that out. But all you got to do is call Crime Stoppers. You can report it anonymously. Yeah. They just need a tip.
How much reward money?
You know, I'm not sure of that, but there is a reward.
There is reward available, because that might entice somebody.
Thank you, Jeff.